about that time again, world. Welcome to the live. Work on your game is live. If you didn't know, at 6:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No matter where you are in the world, if you're checking in right now, go ahead and shout yourself out in the comment section. I don't know what my Facebook camera looks a little bit blurry, and I don't know what Instagram is doing. They keep changing the program up over here on Instagram. But anyway, we're gonna deal with it as it is. As y'all checking in again, shout yourselves out in the comment section. Periscope, you on Periscope? Tap the screen. Let me get that heart action going, and shout yourself out in the comments. Facebook, Devin McCall from NC was good. Shout yourselves out over there. Facebook, anybody who's checking in right now. Truly J, hello to you. Mozart Gates, what's going on? As y'all coming in, I'm gonna give everybody like 10 seconds to get in here. Shout yourselves out. Then we're gonna get right into the program, and I'll shout some people out over the course of us getting through what we're gonna get through here today. We're gonna talk about, you can see the topic. All y'all see the title. Jamar checking in from Guam. Guam is in the building. Shout out to Guam. We got Toronto, Canada here. We have Nicholas, Gary Soon checking in. What's going on? We have Deer Isle, Maine. Is that Maine? Shout out to Maine. We got Maine in the house. We got Houston, Texas in the house. Shout out to Houston, Texas. Shout out to Mike Jones. As y'all are checking in, again, shout yourselves out. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. I'm a former 9-year professional athlete and the author of 27 publications, including this book right here called The Mirror of Motivation. At the end of this live, I'm going to tell you how you can get this book, the physical book. I'll tell you how you can get this for free at the end of this live here today. I'm also the publisher of this book, the author of this book, rather, called Work on Your Game. I've done 27 of those. I have done 4 TED Talks. I've created more content, free content that y'all can find online between these lives, videos, articles, and audio. More content than anybody you can name over the last 15 years. And I'm telling you all that to tell you this. It's all under the umbrella of this whole philosophy that I created that is called Work on Your Game. It's all about taking the mental tools that you need to succeed in the sports world to get to that top 1% of professional sports, and how those same tools can be applied to business and to life. Who we got in here? Nicholas Garrison was going on. Somebody else said something. Toronto is also in the house. So we got more Toronto checking in. Shout out to Toronto. And here's the thing, everybody. What we talking about here today, all right, because every day I'm going to give you a different topic. Every live I'm going to give you a different topic from this whole Work on Your Game philosophy. Today I'm going to tell you about 4 types of people that you want to avoid. Now, there are types of people that you want to have around you in life. I might do a separate live on that. I actually have talked about that before on the podcast, like maybe 2 years ago. But I might do a live on that. I got to break it down into 2 parts because it's about 8 different types of people. But there are 4 specific types of people in life that you want to stay away from, because these people are not going to help you get further ahead. They're not going to help you do better. They're not going to help you advance. They actually will slow you down. And their energy, because we all understand the law of association, right? The law of association is become the average of the people you spend the most time with. So if you're spending time with these 4 types of people that I'm about to describe, often their energy will infect your energy, and then you will start to be these people. So if you hang around people with energy that's not helping you, you might think you're doing it because you're going to bring them up, but often that negative energy brings you down. Why? Because negative energy is often stronger than positive energy. Negative energy just travels faster. Bad news travels faster than good news. A lie makes its way around the world twice before the truth puts its pants on. So I want to make sure that you are avoiding these 4 types of people I'm going to describe here today. So not only do you need to check the people around you for the 4 types I'm about to describe, you also need to check yourself and make sure you are not one of these 4 types of people that I'm about to describe here in this conversation that we're about to have right now. So since I had told you back in episode 876 of my podcast, and my show right now is over 1,600 episodes. This is probably about close to 3 years ago, episode 876. I told you that motivation is only for the motivated. Sometimes people say to me, Dre, I'm not motivated to go work out. What can I do to get myself motivated and excited? I said, nothing. Because motivation is only for people who are already motivated. Only people seeking motivation are people who are already motivated. Only people who are trying to get motivated are the people who already have it. Now, if you're asking someone, how can you get motivated? It's because you don't already have it. You need to find a reason. Once you find the right reason, then the motivation will come find you. But today, I'm going to tell you again, why you don't need to try to be Superman or Superwoman and save people who fall into one of these 4 categories. Number 1 type of person that you want to avoid is the unhappy individual. You want to stay away from unhappy people. What's an unhappy person? It's a person who is never satisfied nor pleased with anything in life. This is the type of person that has no reason to get out of bed anymore. This is the type of person who never feels good about anything. They never feel like there's anything positive going on in their lives. They never feel like anything is working in their favor. This is the type of person, if you ask them what's going on in their life, they always have something to complain about. They always got something to bitch about. There's always something wrong. Now, the thing is, in all of our lives, none of our lives is ever 100% perfect. We always got things that are working. We got things that are not working. We got things that are going in our favor, and we have things that we need to work on. That we have areas for improvement. All of us always have these. But the challenge is not whether or not you have things that need to be improved or things that you may consider challenges or problems in your life. The thing is, what do you focus on? Because in life, what you focus on, you create. So while no life is ever 100% perfect and no life is ever 100% terrible, the difference between people, since we all have good and bad stuff going on, the difference between people is what we choose to focus on. Some people focus on the glass as half empty. Some people choose to focus on the glass as half full. Some people focus on, damn, it's raining today, so I can't do my outdoor project. Some people say it's raining today, which means I got plenty of reasons to stay in the house and make sure I get done all these things I need to do in the house that I've been putting off for the last 3 weeks. Unhappy people are not able to be happy for themselves. They're not able to be happy for you. They're not able to be happy about you. You have something great happen for you. The people around you, if they're the kind of people you want, quality people in your circle, they'll be happy for you. They'll be able to garner up some positive energy. Even if they're not feeling good about their situation, they can be happy for your situation. Why? Because they're your friend. They want to support you because they understand that positive energy will make you want to be around them. Unhappy people just have it. They find it really, really difficult to be positive about anything in life. And I'm not talking about unhappy in the moment. I'm not talking about like, or somebody crashed into the back of your car, your brand new car that you just got, and you're pissed off for a day, for an hour, while you're waiting for your car to get towed. That's not what I mean. I'm talking about a person who is chronically unhappy. They never seem positive. They never seem to have anything good going on. Anytime you see them, you ask them what's up, they always have something negative to say about their situation, their life, their energy, and how they're feeling. These are people who are chronically unhappy. And you trying to help them out by telling them about your success, by telling them how you're happy, by telling them what's working for you, is not going to make them happy. It's only going to plunge them even deeper into their own unhappiness, because these are the type of people who, as I just said, you get to choose what you're going to focus on. They have chosen to focus on the negative parts of their lives. There are positives they could focus on, the fact that they're alive and breathing and healthy, but they choose to focus on the negative. So anytime anyone shows them something positive, all they do is by comparison say, all right, well, you got this positive, they have that, these people got these positive things going. I don't have anything positive to focus on, or at least they choose to not have anything positive to focus on. And they go even deeper into their negativity. So you trying to pull them up is not going to work. Their negative pull is stronger than your positive pull, because they frankly may have a whole lot more, whole lot more experience in being negative than you have in being positive, all right? And you can either believe what I'm saying here, or you can learn the hard way. Some of you, if you're old enough, you got enough life experience, you have already learned this the hard way. You had a negative person around you. You tried to pull them up into your positive energy. It did not work. And you said, all right, I guess I'm just not going to I can't deal with this person anymore. They want to be negative. Nothing I can do about it. So you can take my word for it, or you can learn by your own experience. I guarantee you, you will find out the hard way if you want to find out the hard way, or you can find out the easy way or listen to what I'm saying. Point number 2. Today we're talking about the 4 types of people you want to avoid. So we got the unhappy. Second type of person that you want to avoid at all costs in your life is the unmotivated person. Unmotivated person. What is it? What is motivation? Motivation is an energy. It's an excitement. It's an anticipation of doing something, getting something, being something in life, right? Everybody has a general idea of what it means to be motivated, right? The unmotivated person is a person who heard you when you said, hey, here is the steps that need to be taken for you to start creating success for yourself. Or if you want to get moving in this direction to do this thing, I know how to do it. I know somebody who did it. I did it myself. You already know that I did it. You watched me do it. Here are the steps that you need to take to get there. The unmotivated person is a person who knows what needs to be done. They at least have a general idea of what needs to be done, what they need to do to get to where they want to go in life. The problem is they don't want to hear any of it. They don't want to hear about what they need to do. They don't want to talk about taking action. They're not interested in personal initiative. Why? Because they're not motivated. They don't have the motivation. They don't have the internal drive to do something for themselves to create success. Now, if you're watching this live, you probably have some type of internal drive to create some form of success in some aspect of your life. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why you have it, but you have it on some level, because this guy that you're listening to, he talks about this whole philosophy called work on your game. So if you weren't willing to work, then you wouldn't be listening to me. You would have saw the first word work and you would have found something else to do. So since you're here, you understand the concept of working. You have some motivation within you. Some people just don't have it. Not everybody's motivated. Again, all of you have enough life experience. You know, not everybody wants to work. Not everybody wants to get better. Not everyone wants to improve. Some people get to a certain point in life and they just decide that, you know what, I'm good right here. I'm going to just stay right here the rest of my life. I'm going to stay stagnant. I want to maintain the status quo. I'm not trying to get any better. I'm good in this space right here. And that's just what they want to do. That's not what you want to do, but that's what they want to do. Everybody is not motivated. Everybody's not internally driven. Not everybody's a self-starter. Not everyone's trying to take it to the next level. Whatever the next level is, not everybody wants to hear about the next level because they ain't trying to get there. All right, they're good at the current level. All right, they just want to stay there. Now, while I don't think that's a good life plan, personally, I'm not going to go running around to people who don't want to get to the next level and tell them why they should, because I'm not in the business of changing minds, and neither should you. You should not get in the business of trying to change people's minds or changing their character about their own personal growth. If somebody does not want to grow, they don't want to improve, they don't want to get better, they don't want to expand, do not try to convince them that they should. All right, all you can do is set the example with how you are, and if and when that person decides that they want to grow and get better, they already know somebody they can call. They can call you because they know that you're on that. They know what you're about. They see the example that you set with your actions consistently. So if they decide to get on the same wavelength that you're on, they'll call you, they'll text you, they'll find you, they'll come find you. You ain't got to go, you only have to make yourself available. They will find you if they're looking for what you have. But unmotivated people, you need to stay away from them, because unmotivated people don't want to get better. They don't want to do the work. They're not into what you're into. So if you try to show them it, or you try to make it too obvious, or you try to preach to them, all you're going to do is drive a wedge between you and that person to the point that you'll never be able to talk to them again. So leave the unmotivated people alone, because ain't nobody got time for trying to be motivated if they don't want to be motivated. All right? Do not try to convince people to be something other than they already are. Everybody hear what I just said? Trying to convince people to change their mentality or their philosophy or their character does not work. Okay? Y'all ever heard the phrase preach to the choir? You ever heard that phrase, preaching to the choir? All right, some people use preaching to the choir as if it's a negative thing. Preaching to the choir is not a negative thing. Preaching to the choir is the smartest thing you could possibly do. All right, any of you ever go to any type of religious, place of religious worship, like a mosque or a synagogue or a church? What happens at a mosque or a synagogue or a church? A bunch of people who want to hear the message show up at a specific time, certain times every week, and there's a person whose job it is to give them the word, to preach to them whatever they want to talk about. Everybody who shows up to the mosque or the synagogue or the church already knows you already know the program. You already know the book that it's coming from. You already might even know what the message is. You might have heard it before. You might have heard them say it before if you've been going there long enough, but you show up anyway. Why is that? Why do you show up to the church or the mosque or the synagogue if you've already heard the message, you've already read the book yourself? Why do you show up to hear somebody read from a book that you already read? Why is this? Because you're interested in the message. All right, that's why you show up. Preaching to the choir is a smart thing. Okay? Guess what the preacher at a church does not do? The preacher at the church does not go around the corner from the church and preach to the people standing on the corner. All right, why? Because the people standing on the corner know that the church is right there, and if they wanted to hear the message in the church, guess what they would be? They would be in church, because coming to church is free. Okay? Coming to the synagogue is free. Going to the mosque is free. You don't have to pay. So if somebody wants that message, guess what they do? They show up and they sit down and they listen to the message. If they don't want to hear it, they don't show up. They're outside doing whatever they want to do. The preacher does not go outside of the church and try to preach the message to people who didn't show up to church. They preach to the people who showed up. So when it comes to the motivation, the inspiration, the drive, I heard somebody wrote Mamba mentality. If somebody wants to have a Mamba mentality, guess what? They're already looking for it. All right, you don't need to try to put them on to the Mamba mentality. All right, the people who want it already got it. All right, they're already looking for it, and they want to hear more of it. The people who don't want to hear it, don't try to preach to them. All right, I remember there was this guy. I'll tell you this quick story. When I was growing up in Philadelphia, where I'm from, there was this guy who lived on a block next to mine. So me and a bunch of my friends, we were from like 3 different blocks all next to each other. And there was this one guy who lived on a block. He was this big, really zealous, overzealous Christian guy. Him and his wife or girlfriend, whoever they were. And every time he saw us, we'd be hanging out. You know, we didn't go to church or nothing like that. We weren't doing anything illegal, but we'd just be hanging out outside. He would always walk up to us and try to strike up a conversation. Something like, have you given your Have you given your soul to your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ? Something like that. That's how he would always start the conversation. And we would try to blow him off. And this dude, I think he just loved arguing. So he would just try to get us into an argument. He would try to just get us to go back and forth with him on why we didn't do it. He was trying to convince us why we should come to church and why we should give our lives to Jesus Christ. And this has nothing to do with Christianity. And he would just go and go and go. His whole deal was to try to convince us, I guess, that we should follow his path and become these overzealous Christians as he and his female companion were. It never worked. And he was just so annoying that we started to avoid the dude. I almost felt like he liked arguing more than he actually wanted to convert people to Christianity. But the whole point of it is this. The people who wanted to hear his message, guess where they were at? They weren't standing outside on a corner like we were. They were in the church, which is right across the street from where we live. And they were in there listening to the message. He's outside trying to preach to people who didn't want to come into church. We see the church is right there. If we wanted to be there, we'd be on the inside. So when it comes to motivation, the people who want it already are getting it. The people who don't, do not preach it to them. They don't want to hear that shit. Number 3, we're talking to 4 types of people that you want to avoid in life. The third type of person is the talker. All right, what is the talker? These are the people who are saying all the right things. I'm not talking about people who just have the ability to speak. People who are saying all the right things, but none of what they say ever actually comes to fruition. They are always talking about, I'm going to do this. I'm going to really get right on this. I'm going to get serious about that. But then they never actually do it. You know anybody like that? They're always talking about what they're going to do, but then they never actually do it. It's not even that they don't even do it. Because sometimes you might have a plan that just fails. Sometimes you try something, you got an idea, and it just doesn't work out. I've had plenty of ideas that I put out there over the last 15 years online that just didn't work. Now, I did them, they just didn't work, and they didn't last. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking to people who are talking about stuff, but they don't actually even begin. They don't even take the steps to get started knowing these things. None of what they say ever actually even begins, let alone does it actually happen. All right, any of you know any people like that? Any of you ever come across somebody who fits that description? Some of y'all know some people like that in your lives right now. The problem with the talkers is this. They're really good at talking. All right, when they talk about what they're going to do, it sounds so convincing. You're like, all right, they're actually going to do it this time. I got to believe them. They might actually do the thing that they were talking about doing. This time they might actually do it. This is what makes the talker is that they're so convincing. They're so convincing at saying what they're going to do that they keep fooling you over and over and over again that they're going to do it. Now, everybody here has heard the story of the boy who cried wolf, right? The boy who cried wolf, he was watching over the sheep in the neighborhood, and if he cried out wolf, all the people in town would run to drop what they were doing to go get rid of the wolf so none of the sheep would get killed, because the sheep were like the most important animal in the neighborhood. The boy cried wolf, and there was no wolf, but he said wolf. Everybody dropped everything to come help him, and he laughed at them. I played a trick on you. And they were mad at him, but they went back to work. Then he did it again, and they were mad at him again. He laughed at them, and they said, all right, next time he cries wolf, we're not going to show up, because he knows he's just playing a trick on us. And the next time he cried wolf, there actually was a wolf, and the wolf ended up killing the boy, killing the sheep, eating all the sheep, and the people didn't have a boy, they didn't have sheep, and the wolf had killed everybody because they had gotten tricked one too many times listening to the talker. What I'm going to tell you is, do not judge people by their words, judge them by their actions. If you want to know what somebody is about, ladies and gentlemen, do not listen to what they say. Look at their feet. Watch what they do with their feet. What somebody's about is not based on what they talk about on these live streams or on their Instagram story or what they post in their post captions with their photographs. It is what they do with their actions. You want to know what somebody's about? Don't listen to what they say on their posts or on the social media. Pull up their resume. All right, find out what they've actually accomplished. Find out what they're doing when they're not on camera. That's when you know what somebody's about. The talkers are really good at making you think they're going to do something. They sound amazing, but they fool you over and over again. Look at their words, look at their actions. Don't look at their words, look at their actions and look at their results. Point number 4. Fourth type of person that you should avoid at all costs in life. And I'm going to answer all questions at the end of this. After this last point, if you got a question, I'm going to answer it. So if you got one, get it ready, post it in the comments. Make sure you keep it short. Fourth person you should avoid in life is the unexcited individual. Unexcited. It's a person who is never excited about anything. They have no energy about anything. There's just nothing about them that says life. You ever be around a person that they're alive? They're breathing and all that, but they seem like closer to dead than alive. You know anybody like that? And this has nothing to do with their age or their physical. It could be something about their physical state, but somebody could be sick or old and maybe they can't move as quick. But when I say person who is closer to dead than old, I'm talking about and just in their vivacity for life, their energy for life. Do they just seem interested in life? Do they feel excited about, are they looking forward to anything? The unexcited person is not looking forward to anything. They don't feel good about anything. They don't seem charged up about anything. They seem they're just living life by default. All right, they're just waiting to die. All right, you know anybody like that? It seems like they're just waiting to die. They don't have anything positive going on in their mind or in their life. And this, again, has nothing to do with age. All right, there are people in their 80s who have a lot more life in them than people in their 20s. Why? Because the person in their 80s just has something to look forward to in life. They want to keep going. Who knows how much longer they're going to go, but they want to keep going. There are people in their 20s who seem to not be excited about anything. They might as well not be alive because they ain't doing nothing. They're not bringing anything to the table. They ain't got nothing going on, and they're only 22 years old. All right, some of you know these people that I'm talking about. They're never enthusiastic about anything, and while they may be okay overall, the unexcited people are married to mediocrity, is what I like to say. They're married to mediocrity, meaning their energy is mediocre. To be great at anything, ladies and gentlemen, to be great at anything, you must have game, meaning skill. You must be disciplined, willing to do some work over a consistent period of time, even some work that's very tedious. And you need some emotion. You need some form of emotion to be great at anything. And emotion does not mean you need to be laughing all the time or crying or getting angry or getting frustrated or just have this very boisterous personality. Emotion means you need to have some internal energy coming from within your soul, not just in your mind, but within your soul, in your gut, in your spirit, that drives you to do what you need to do. That's the emotion. Emotion does not mean you have to wear your emotions on your sleeve, that everybody has to know that you're emotional. But somebody who shows up every single day to do the job and they're continually getting better, there's some emotion behind that. They might not show it to you, but there's some emotion in that action because otherwise they wouldn't keep showing up. Any person who doesn't have any type of emotion, listen, they're on their way down into the ground. They're on their way to dead. You understand what I'm saying? Enthusiasm is a necessary element of success. Enthusiasm is not extra. Enthusiasm is a requirement of success. You don't have to be boisterous or the life of the party to have energy and to be excited, but you have to have some energy inside of you. I'm not that type of person. I'm not a boisterous, jump up and down, life of the party type of individual, but there's energy in my work. When I'm speaking right now, you're listening to me, there's energy in what I'm saying. You can tell that I care about the subject. Or when I write about something, or when I post about something, I make a video, I do a podcast, you can tell there's energy behind what I'm saying because I care about the topic. That's what I mean when I say being excited. Again, excited doesn't have to be yelling and up and down and dancing all around. You understand? But there are many people who have no energy about anything. There's no energy in what they do. There's no energy in their job. There's no energy in their profession. They might own a business. There's no energy in that. It's like, all right, they might as well not even be there. They're like a mummy, all right? Except their heart is beating, okay? There needs to be an area of every person's day who's listening to me right now when you come alive. What part of your life makes you come alive? Is it your kids? Is it your family? Is it some side project that you do? Is it playing sports? Is it hanging out with your friends on the weekend? Is it what you do for a living? Is it your job? Is it your business? It has to be something that brings you to life. If there's nothing in your life that brings you to life, your life is soon to end. All right, the world is going to get rid of you because if you ain't bringing nothing to it, you either putting something on the table or you taking things off the table. If you're taking things off the table for too long, the world is going to get rid of you. All right, this is just the Darwinian way that things work. All right, if you ain't bringing nothing to the table, then we got to get rid of you because you're taking up space. You're taking up oxygen. You could be going to somebody who's bringing energy. So all that being said, I'm gonna tell you how you can get this book right here for free. As I told you at the top of this live, if you got a question, go ahead and post it in the comment section right now. I'm gonna address all the questions. And then I'm going to recap these 4 points that I just gave you. Then I'm going to address the questions. So this book right here is called The Mirror of Motivation. The subtitle is The Self-Guide to Self-Discipline. This is the first book of mine that you should read. I've written 27, but you should start with this one. And here's why. Even though it's the self-guide to self-discipline, some of you might be like, why do I want self-discipline, Dre? That saying kind of boring, sounds kind of hard. I don't know if I want self-discipline, Dre. Why should I start with this book? First of all, you can get this book at mirrorofmotivation.com. Again, the book is paid for. All you do is cover the shipping. Just go to the title of the book. Mirrorofmotivation.com is the website. Why you want this book? It's because everybody who's listening to me right now, you have goals, you have things that you want to achieve in life. Otherwise, you would not have sat and listened to me just now. And at the same time, you understand you got to do some work to get what you want. You understand in life you can't get something for nothing. And anyway, you listen to a guy who has work on your game on his hat. If you're not willing to do work, you probably wouldn't be listening to me. There's a lot of other things you could be doing. So assuming that you got both of those down, you got goals, check. You're willing to do the work, check. Here's the question you need to ask yourself. Who do I need to be? What type of energy do I need to have every day? How do I want people to feel when I walk into a room? What do I want people to say and think and feel about me when I walk out of the room? What do I want people to think about me when I'm not in the room? What do I need to see when I look in the mirror every single day? What kind of energy do I need to have? These are all under the umbrella of this question: who do I need to be? Who you are being controls what you are doing, and what you do leads to what you end up having, your results in life. When you change who you're being, what you do changes and your results change. That's why you want to get this book called The Mirror of Motivation. In this book, I'm going to give you the frameworks for how you can answer the question, who do I need to be? Understand what I just said, the frameworks for you to answer the question, not me. This is not Dre hyping you up motivation. This is not somebody giving you an inspirational YouTube video every morning while you get dressed. And nothing wrong with those things, but understand YouTube won't always be around. I won't always be around when you need answers for yourself. That's why this book is called The Mirror, for you to be able to look into yourself and become the person you need to be, because guess who will always be around no matter where you go? You will. So get this book by going to mirrorofmotivation.com. I've already paid for the book. All you do is cover a small shipping charge, and I will ship this book, the physical book, this book right here, to you anywhere that you live. Again, mirrorofmotivation.com. The book's paid for. All you do is cover the shipping. We have an option there for you to get the 4-book bulletproof bundle. It's this book on discipline. We got a book on confidence called The Super You, another one on mental toughness called The Mental Handbook, and another one on personal initiative called 100 Mental Game Best Practices. Again, if you just go to mirrorofmotivation.com, you'll see all your options right there on that page. You got an option to get other books in addition to this one. And on the next page, we'll make you an offer to get this book, a 250-page magnum opus called Work on Your Game. Use a pro athlete mindset to dominate your game in business, sports, and life. This book I took my whole philosophy and condensed it down to 250 pages at the request of my publisher. I could have made this book 2,000 pages, but we made it 250, so it's easy for everybody to read. You can easily digest this, and it's a coffee table book. You can stand this right up on your coffee table. It stands by itself, hardcover. So Work on Your Game. That's this book. You can get this on the next page. All you got to remember, mirrorofmotivation.com. All that being said, let me tell you these 4 points I just told you. 4 types of people you want to avoid in life. If you got a question, go ahead and post it right now. I'm about to answer them. 4 types of people to avoid. Number 1, the unhappy, person who is never satisfied or pleased with anything. Number 2, the unmotivated, people who hear you when you talk about getting things done. They just not interested in getting anything done. Number 3, the talkers. They're always talking about what they're going to do, and it sounds great, but they never actually do it. And number 4, the unexcited, never enthusiastic about anything. Emotion is a key element. Enthusiasm is a key required element for success in life. If you don't have any, you better get you some. You must be enthusiastic about something in order to achieve in life. All that being said, let me address the comments that we got here. First off, over on Facebook, Devin, what's going on? Lisa, what's up? Lori Cooper, I appreciate you. Cameron Jackson said, great read. Which book you talking about, Cameron? Are you talking about The Mirror of Motivation? Let me know which book you're referring to. And over on IG, I think we got a few comments or questions, so I'm going to address those right now. If you got one, go ahead and post it in the comments. I'm addressing them all right now. Must Idris said, I remember reading Work on Your Game in 2013, the electronic version, shit crazy. Which book you talking about? Because this book, Work on Your Game, didn't come out till 2019. So you're talking about a different book. You might be talking about my book, Buy a Game. I think that's the book you're talking about, Buy a Game. I put that out in 2010. And I was giving that out for free when I first put it up. Nicholas Gary Soon, I appreciate you. Anyone who has a question, go ahead and post in the comment section right now while I am scrolling through. Let me see what we got. OVO John NYD, I appreciate you. So consistency is the key. People usually give up when things get tough. That's very true. And that's a measure of mental toughness, which I talk about in this book right here, Work on Your Game. I got a whole chapter on mental toughness, which is your willingness to continue to be disciplined and confident even when the success you've expected to achieve is yet to be achieved. OVO John said, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That's right. When somebody wants it. So he should have used reverse psychology. Nicholas said, can you elaborate PIGNWOYG? It's right here in this book. Did you read this book, Nicholas? I did a whole section on that. Being a PIG, what I call a professional information gatherer. I also did a podcast episode, masterclass episode on that topic. Ariel J77. What's going on? Appreciate the engagement. AJ said, how do you make a D1 college in America from a different country? Well, you make it the same way as any other player would. You have to get a coach interested enough in you to offer you a scholarship. I mean, that's essentially what you must do. And how do you get a coach interested in you? They probably need to know that you exist. So you need to get some game footage and you need to send it to them. That would be the first thing I would do if I was from a different country trying to get a scholarship. If you don't have any game footage, then you got an uphill battle that you need to climb. OVO said, how do you avoid temptation to be more disciplined and then follow up with consistency? Well, it depends on what temptation you're trying to avoid, OVO John. That's a very broad question. How do you avoid temptation to be more disciplined? Depends on what you're trying to be disciplined in and what temptation you're trying to avoid. But there's no one size fits all answer to that question. It really depends on the person and, again, the elements that I just asked about. IG3 says, great advice. I appreciate the help. Question, not trying to push anything, but have you ever asked Jesus to save you? Are you joking that I brought that up? I hope so. Truly said, he's plugging us. Josh said, I think he has. However, that guy failed to try to get him to, LOL, not really supposed to force him into it to get him to do it. Not really how it's supposed to work. Yes, all right. So there's the answer to the question right there. AJ said, how do you recover from a loss, whether that's a game or one-on-one in sports? Play another game. The way you recover from losing the last game is to play another one. Josh said, who's better, Durant or LeBron? LeBron's the best player in the world. I made a video last year that said he was the best player last year, and he's still the best player now. Jay says, is it bad that I never played rep as yet and I'm 14? Well, bad is relative. You would have to decide whether it's bad or not. Cameron said, oh, Mirror Motivation to Overseas. Oh, that's what's up. Shout out to everybody who read the Mirror Motivation. If you already got this book, then your next book is this book called Work on Your Game. And the 4-book Bulletproof Bundle. If you already read this, you need to get the Bulletproof Bundle, which is 4 books. This is one of the 4, so since that means you will have 2 of these, get this to one of your friends. Somebody needs it. And the Overseas Basketball Blueprint. If anybody wants to play basketball overseas, go to balloverseas.com and get that book. Charlie said, what if someone is enthusiastic on the inside, but you can't tell from the outside? That's okay. Their energy, their actions will show you that they're enthusiastic. That's what I just said as an example. I'm not a person that you would call emotional as far as my everyday energy. I'm not a person that's like putting my emotions, again, out on the world or wearing them on my sleeve, but you could tell through my actions that there's some energy behind what I'm doing. That's the exact example that I use. It's not about what other people can see. It's about what you can see in yourself, first of all, and then with that person, again, look at their actions, not their words, their actions. Because a lot of people talk emotionally, but then do they do anything? Do they actually achieve anything? Iona, what's going on? I ain't heard from you in a minute. Nice to see you. Good to see and hear from you. AJ said, who and how do you send footage? Also, how would they know? How would they even see that footage? AJ, go to dreallday.com/athletes with an S on the end. dreallday.com/athletes and read the articles on that page. Because if you're trying to get a college basketball scholarship, you need to be doing the research and getting the information. Because if you're trying to be a college basketball player, at that point, college is a place for young people to develop some semi-autonomy. And one of those elements, AJ, is that you got to start taking personal responsibility for the things that you want. So if you want a college scholarship, your job is to get the information. So I'm telling you where to go get it. dreallday.com/athletes. There's plenty of articles on it that tells you everything you need to do. Now your job is to read it and apply it if you're serious about playing college basketball. But it's not my job to give you every little detail. I've already covered it. So go look up that page that I just gave you. So again, mirrorofmotivation.com. This book is already paid for. All you do is cover the shipping. Anybody who wants to get started, you never read anything from me, you never bought anything from me, start with this. I made the book free to make it an easy decision. Mirrorofmotivation.com. That's where you get this book. Iona said, let's catch soon. Love you always leading the way. Yes, definitely, Iona. Hit me up. Send me an email. You got my email address. It has not changed. So whatever you got is the same one. Hit me up. I'd love to hear what you got going on right now. So everybody, I do these lives almost every day. Sometimes I might not do it. Most of the time I do these lives every day. I publish more content, like I said, to the internet than anybody you can name. I do put these lives on the IGTV tab on my profile on Instagram. They stay on my Facebook page, just normal posts. And Periscope, all Periscope is live stream. So y'all can see it too. And that's that. So everybody, all you got to do is follow me wherever you're watching me at right now. These lives will be up, and I do these consistently. Y'all know what it is. Mirrorofmotivation.com. This is what you get started with. We got a new program that we're coming out with very, very soon. this book, I'm still gonna be promoting this book no matter what. But y'all just stay tuned. We always working over here. Everybody have a great Saturday night. If you go into a business, wear the mask if it's the rule. All right, don't be difficult. Work on your game. We out here. Dre all day.